So hello there, today I'm going to go through the process of inking textures on a drawing. As you can see now I'm just doing the lines which I can draw the textures from. So what I do is I just add some lines. That's just about exactly what I'm doing really, just add lines which look pretty much like scribbles when I'm doing this, but the more you carry on with this the more better it'll look. You do it in stages. I'm using a gel ink pen for this, but you can use any black ink pen. And the key is here to draw texture basically on the shadowed areas which you want more darker, so all the detail just rests underneath, and then on the top, say like these tentacles I'm doing here on this demon drawing, I'm starting off underneath, just creating little ridges that I can just work from and just draw details and just texturize it a bit more. And there's the outline there of the top tentacle bit, but I usually keep the top white or whiter with minor little details, and you can create some good effects with these ink pens. I usually do this like this for now, and then I can go over it with other size ink pens and just fill it out some more and see how the drawing looks. But this is basically how I add texture to a drawing, so I mean you may do it different, but I just thought I'd show you my way that I do it. So I've got a Sharpie here. This is so you can layer in more darker areas underneath. Particularly this is a demon creature, so we're aiming for dark ridges underneath the tentacles, and we want a bit of darkness that we can work with. Maybe make the edges underneath of the tentacles a bit more textured. That's why I'm just layering on some darker areas there. As you can see, if you've seen a lot of my other videos, that's just basically the process I do when I'm inking any type of drawing really. I may not do it in this order. I may do the outline and then add the darker areas and then start inking it with a gel ink pen, but it's whatever you feel like doing at the time really. So you see them wavy lines, what I'm doing with the Sharpie marker, that just creates a nice thick edge which you can work from and add more ink lines and other type of textures and stuff like that. It really creates depth in and shape in the creature drawing as well. So yeah, and you can just get different. This is a really thin ink pen. You can draw tinier details over the top. I usually do this at the end, but I thought I'd just show you what type of ink pens you can use. You can draw a full range of different ones. These are for drawing little fine details. As you can see, you maybe draw little veins or other tiny, thinner type textures. Seeing as this is a demonic horror creature, I like to add loads of cool textures and stuff just over the top. Always leave the light source at the top of the creature, say the tentacles and things like that. But yeah, this is just how you build up texture really. Go over certain areas. You can always come back with the Sharpie again and just add more darker areas in between, and it's up to you how much you want to add, how far you want the details to go. But this is basically how we do it. This, once you've created the shape in pencil, or you've outlined it, everything in ink, then this is basically what you do. Just look for the darker areas first, and then you can work up to the light. With cross hatching, and even scribbles really, you know. As you can see, I didn't really use much of that thin ink marker. It was the 0.05, I think. Yeah, it is. Just had to check them. So I'm back to using the gel ink pen because I'm just more comfortable using that pen. But you can use any ink pens you want. Like I said, a varying range. You could, instead of using the Sharpie, you could use like a brush pen, like a Pentel pocket brush pen, or a Pigma brush pen, whichever you want, just to layer in the darker areas. But it is always about trying to create lots of different textures and details, you know, from the darker areas. So that's always the thing to remember. It can be a time-consuming process, but it's well worth it in the end when you see the end result at the end. I think a little bit later I just skip through a little bit and you see the final result, but this is basically how you just texture a drawing. It could be a monster, it could be a zombie, or skulls, or big demonic creature like this sort of is. These are the ones at the moment that I like drawing, so you'll see quite a bit of these, you know, especially in the live streams that I've done. I've drawn a couple of these. But yeah, you can go back over again with a Sharpie or whichever one you want to use and just add them dark like textures and really sort of like define the details and just have fun with the drawing really. It's you know, it's your drawing that you're drawing. Just if you're not having fun with it, there's no point, you know. Inking is always like the real fun sort of way of darkening the drawings and giving it more definition, especially these creatures. They're really good to do. So just work through it and don't rush it. If you know, if you're not sure about it, just try and work up to, you know, the areas that you want to work on, and if you make a mistake, it's okay. There's always other drawings you can do, or you can probably save the drawings if you think you've messed up. Sometimes I think I've messed up a drawing and then I've gone back to it another time and I've sort of saved it anyway. You know, it's probably overthought it a bit at the time, and when I've like, you know, took the time just to have a break from it or something and gone back, it's sort of helped the drawing in a way. So don't worry about not getting the results you want at the start. It's just take time. It took me a long time to figure out how to draw like this, so and this is the way I always draw now, and I prefer to draw this type of way. So I'm drawing them dark recesses. They're really good to build off from with the gel ink pens and do some like cross hatching or just basic hatching details and scribbles. Just work from them all the time. It's always a good idea to, you know, to do that. So yeah, the inking is best when you use different ink pens. Then you can see like the thick and the thin lines together. It just seems to gel and just seems to work. You know, when you're inking the drawing. I'd like to maybe do a video where I combine more using like paintbrushes and stuff like that with the inking process. So I'll probably do that in the future. But yeah, this is the, you know, one of the best ways to do it with just ink pens. And ink pens don't have to be expensive either, you know. I'm using a gel ink pen mainly for all the, you know, the finer details, and even some of the other, like the Unipin pens, they are expensive here. They're just fairly cheap, but yeah, I mean, just adding like fine details here and there, just try and build up the drawing as you're going along, really. Normally I would outline everything, but I was mainly just showing you the textures first, because that's the whole point of this video. So it's mainly because quite a few people asked about doing like videos about texture and things like that. Also, like I'm doing here, just do fully dark areas. That seems to work quite well. These are like the mouths of this demon. There's two large mouths, as you can see. Just going around the teeth there, and yeah, just keep inking the drawing and just see, you know, which bits need improving on, or you know, what other detail you can add to it. If I'd spent a bit more time on it, I would have gone back with some white pens and added more stuff in the mouth areas of these demon things, but I think there's more about using just the ink pens just to create the texture. If you want to know more about this technique, then please in the comments just say, and then I'll try and work on some more. Like I said earlier, I'll try and work on some like paintbrush inking techniques as well, because there's some really good effects you can do, like with dry brushing and lots of other effects like drip effects and stuff like that in inking. So I can really make some more videos and try and expand on this a bit more. But really, just for now, this was just for ink pens. There's various different ink pens, but whichever ones you've got to hand, it doesn't really matter, so long as they're not like, I think gel ink pens are good. Proper ink pens like the Unipins, the Pigma Microns, the Sharpies are good, although the colour sort of fades after a bit. It either turns like purple or brown or some weird colour sometimes, depending on the paper. But even then, it's still good to use them. Fairly cheap. So yeah, darken the mouth areas, which creates a nice contrast. Then you can work on the sides of there, trying to add more texture, like I am trying to do there. Just more areas of dark, just to build off with, you know, the finer details, as I did earlier on the tentacle and like the body bit of this double-headed demon. I didn't draw any eyes on these demons this time. I thought it just looked cooler, you know, without drawing eyes. Just like little splits and details at the side of the mouth is always good texturized drawings. Big jump there, just inked a few other bits. And yeah, just continue to work on it a little bit more, and then nearly like drawing all on little details and textures and flesh textures and stuff like that. And yeah, so here's the finished drawing. And there we go, really. Still probably need a bit more work, some more textures probably here and there, but that's how you add textures. Well, that's how I add textures with ink pens. Just remember to like do lots of darker areas that you can just build off, and then just like ink it like I've done, or you know, just you'll find your own inking techniques and stuff like that. Just just try out different ways of adding the inks, and you'll go quite far with these drawings. Definitely needs a bit more work, but as for this video, it's done. Cheers now.